Are you down with OP? Yeah, you know me. I'm missing a letter on that. Hit the button. Let's get started. Hey there, hi there, ho there, Andrew here, the horror host of Generations X, Y, and Z, inside Davis Manor, where we find humor in horror. And we're talking about Halloween Horror Nights number 28's original properties when it comes to the scare zones, original scare zones, original property scare zones, OPSZs, well, I don't know, whatever you want to talk about, and the show that is coming as well. So we're going to talk about a little bit of the info and insights on each one of those scare zones and the show as well. But before I do that, let me thank the names that are scrolling up over here. These are the patrons of the channel, and if you want to be a patron of the channel because you like my face, you like seeing what you see here on the channel, or I don't know, you just want to see the channel grow, make sure you go ahead and click the link above. Make sure you check out the link at the end of the video or in the description. You can go ahead and see all the different reward tiers that are there, the goals that we are trying to reach, and really becoming a patron is the best way to help the channel out when it comes to growing. Of course, we always like all the thanks we always like all the thanks. That was me combining a sentence together. I would like to thank all the people that are hitting those likes and the comments and the shares as well. Now, let's talk about the original property scare zones here and what you can expect in these. Now, there are three original property scare zones. One's called the Harvest, one is called Twisted Tradition, and one is called Vamp 85 New Year's Eve. Then the show is Academy of Villains. Starting off with the scare zones, the original scare zones, I should say. Okay, the first one, the Harvest. Now, the Harvest, if you haven't experienced a particular house that was called Scarecrow the Reaping, you're probably going to enjoy this scare zone. It's an old barn setting. Of course, the decorations, everything's creepy. Old barns are just creepy. They are just so creepy. With that, there are going to be plenty of monsters that are harvesting in this barn. It's not an abandoned barn, people. These nasty creatures are harvesting the flesh off of you. Yo, not me. I'm working it. I mean, I'm not working the scare zone. I'm working Halloween Horror Nights. So yeah, I have got nothing to worry about. You, however, do. So with that, some of the things that you can expect, definitely pumpkins, vines, the old corn stalks, things like that. Just the old the old deteriorated wood, all that other stuff. It's going to be beautiful. Just the settings are always awesome when it comes to stuff like this. So with this, you've got a lot of nasty creatures that are going to be reaping you up, so to speak. Maybe ripping you up. I don't know, maybe it might scare you so bad you might rip one too. I don't know. That's kind of gross, Andrew. Let's move on. Okay, let's talk about Vamp 85. Some of the things that you can expect here. Again, a little nod going back to a previous property. It's still being an original property. If you did not experience in previous Halloween Horror Nights Vamp 55, which was a couple years ago, I had said that it was going to be a sleeper hit. I knew the moment that it was released and we knew about it, I knew that it was going to be big. Vampires are always very popular, but the 1950s vibe, it just had a fun little niche vibe, it's clean, wholesome, and all that other stuff. But then they perverted it with vampires coming in and destroying a homecoming queen parade. This one is not homecoming. No. Vamp 85 is all about New Year's Eve. Now, this is going to be taking place in the New York City scare zone area, and New Year's, the ball drops. And when the ball drops down there in the countdown, the teeth start plunging into the neck, so to speak. So make sure that you keep an eye on the countdown. Make sure you keep an eye on how cool these vampires are going to be. They are totally got the 80s vibe on there. They're going to be some 80s punk rockers, and you're going to see the ladies with the big hair and the fangs and everything. Just that was one thing that I enjoyed about Vamp 55 was the costumes that the Vamps were wearing. And this one is just going to be the same, except now it's in the 80s. So with that, enjoy the countdown, and maybe you'll make it to midnight. Now, the next one is called Twisted Tradition, and this scare zone kind of goes back into some of the vibes of previous scare zones that they've done before. This is taking place in Central Park, which is always a great area for scare zones. It's wooded. You got all the trees. There are plenty of things that they can hang up, and it's normally a really well lit area. And that is going to be the same thing here. Where you're going to be traveling through the forest of Central Park to do this, and you are going to see a lot of rotting pumpkins. You're going to see the cool thing is you're going to see decaying human flesh. Whether that came from the Harvest scare zone is another story, but you will see rotting pumpkins, rotting flesh, just nasty, gross, rotting jack-o'-lanterns guiding your path through this twisted, nasty forest. I think this is going to be, really, I think it's going to be just an eye candy thing. Of course, you're going to have plenty of scares. There are going to be creatures popping out from different spots. I'm not going to tell you where, because that would just spoil the scare. But I will tell you, it is going to be good. It's definitely going to be picture worthy. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be taking pictures in this scare zone. Now, going into the show, once again, Academy of Villains is popping up, and what a great dance troupe. I have enjoyed them every time I've seen them. And this time, they're not on a stage, and they're not blocking up the flow of traffic. Yes, Bill and Ted is no longer here, and it's not a show this year. They're going into where Bill and Ted was, in the Fear Factor area, and that means a lot of things. One, that means more people can watch the Academy of Villains, and that means that you don't have to be looking over somebody's shoulder and up on your tippy toes or anything to try and see what's going on. You will be able to sit down in the bleachers comfortably looking over everybody's shoulders, seeing what is going on. And that is actually going to give them a much bigger stage, too. That's a bigger venue for them to perform. And this year, it is Academy of Villains Cyberpunk. So it has a 80s vibe to this as well. I won't go into their storyline, but it does have an 80s vibe. And actually, I think they just released the new graphic for Academy of Villains Cyberpunk. Pretty cool stuff. So with that, if you have not hit that sub button yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that sub button and hit that bell icon. That way you get notified the moment that I upload with all of this HHN28 goodies. And I will see you in the next